By the time my sister-in-law told me there wasn't a seat for me at my own table, everyone else was already eating. No one looked up. I stood there with a plate in my hands, still warm, and for a second I honestly thought I had walked into the wrong house. Vanessa was sitting at the head of the table, my seat, laughing, pouring wine like she had done it 100 times. "Oh," she said when she noticed me. "You can sit over there. We already set everything up." I glanced around at the table. There were 8 place settings, all filled. "There isn't an extra chair," I said. "It's a little tight," she replied lightly. We made it work. Lucas was already eating. He looked at me for a moment, then lowered his eyes to his plate. "Vanessa," I said. My voice came out steady, too steady. She didn't fully turn toward me. "It's just a different kind of Christmas this year." Someone near the end of the table shifted and half rose. "Do you want my—" "It's fine," Vanessa said quickly, cutting him off. That was the moment it became clear. I set the serving spoon down and looked at the table again. Strangers. Coats piled near the door. A sharp, sweet perfume cutting through the smell of turkey. "This is my house," I said. For a second, the room quieted. Not completely, but enough. "And none of you were invited by me." Vanessa gave a small, tight laugh. "Aria, don't make this uncomfortable." I reached forward and pulled the edge of the table runner. Glasses tipped, wine spread across the table. A plate slid and shattered on the floor. "Dinner's over," I said. "Please leave. My name is Aria Bennett, 29 years old. And that was only the beginning of it. I didn't throw them out right away. Yeah, I know. Sounds stupid. It kind of is." The next morning, Vanessa was already in my kitchen before I got downstairs. Espresso machine hissing, loud, like it owned the place. "You're up early," she said, not looking at me. "That's my machine," I said. She shrugged. "It makes better coffee. It wasn't yours to replace. It's just coffee." "Aria." "Right. Just coffee." I stood there for a second. I could still smell that same sweet perfume from last night, stuck in the air like it didn't belong either. Lucas walked in behind me, rubbing his face. "Can we not start this first thing?" I turned to him. "You saw what happened." He didn't answer that. Just grabbed a mug, not mine. Hers. "It wasn't a big deal," he said. "You overreacted." I laughed, couldn't help it. There wasn't a seat for me at my own table. It was crowded. Vanessa cut in. We were just trying to make it work. In my house. She finally looked at me then. Really looked. "You keep saying that," she said, "like we don't know." I let that sit there, because honestly, I wasn't sure they did. I bought this place 2 years ago. Put down $210,000 of my own money. Every corner in it, I picked. Every decision. And somehow, standing there in my own kitchen, I felt like I needed permission to be in it. That part was on me. This didn't start at Christmas. It started with my mom crying on the phone. "Aria, they're not okay," she said. Her voice kept breaking, like she was trying to hold something together that was already gone. "Lucas lost the contract. Vanessa's clients dropped. They can't stay where they are." I sat on my couch, laptop still open on my lap. Numbers on the screen. Deadlines. Real things. How long? I said. "Just a few months." She said fast. Too fast. 2, maybe 3. They just need time to get back on their feet. I rubbed my forehead. "Mom, they're your family," she said, softer now. I wouldn't ask if it wasn't serious. Lucas texted right after. "Hey, I know this is a lot. We'll stay out of your way." "Out of my way." Vanessa followed. "We'll make it easy. Promise." I should have said no. I swear. I almost did. I typed it, deleted it, typed it again. Then my mom said, "Please." That word. It always works on me. "Okay," I said. "A few months." Lucas called immediately. "Thank you." Seriously, we won't forget this. Vanessa got on the line too. You're saving us. Saving? Yeah. They showed up 3 days later. Boxes, suitcases, more than temporary looked like. I remember standing by the door, watching them bring everything in, and thinking, just for a second, this already feels bigger than what I agreed to. The first thing that changed was small. That's how it always goes. I came downstairs one morning and my pour-over setup was gone. Just gone. The counter looked cleaner, emptier. Where's my coffee stuff, I said. Vanessa didn't turn around. Oh, I moved it. Moved it where cabinet. It was taking up space. Taking up space. I opened the cabinet. Everything shoved in there. Filters bent. Glass chipped on the rim. That wasn't yours to move, I said. It's just a better flow this way, she said. Trust me. Lucas walked in, already scrolling his phone. What's going on? She moved my stuff. He glanced once. It's not a big deal. Aria. Not a big deal. I let it go. Yeah, I did. That's on me. A week later. I walked into my office, or what used to be my office. Ring light, tripod, boxes stacked against the wall. My desk pushed to the side like it didn't matter anymore. Vanessa was filming something. Hey guys, so today I'm working from home. She stopped when she saw me. Oh, I thought you weren't using this room much. I work here. I said, you have your laptop. She said, you can work anywhere. Anywhere. Lucas leaned against the doorframe. It's temporary. Everything was temporary. My space. My stuff. My voice. I stood there, looking at my own desk shoved into a corner, and I didn't say anything else. And that silence. That's where it started getting worse. It didn't happen all at once. That's what makes it harder to explain. Nothing was loud enough to stop. Just steady. Small changes that kept adding up. I came home one night and the couch looked different. Same place, same size, but covered in a new fabric. Lighter color, softer. Where's the original, I asked. Vanessa didn't look up from her laptop. I moved it to storage. You moved it. It didn't really fit the space anymore. Lucas called from the kitchen. It's just temporary, Aria. It was my couch. Vanessa finally glanced at me. It still is. I just made it work better. Work better. I stood there for a moment, keys still in my hand, trying to figure out when better started meaning not yours. A few nights later, I opened the door and heard voices. Not just Lucas and Vanessa. Laughter. Glasses. Someone talking over music. Vanessa's voice carried from the living room. Yeah, we've been fixing up the place. I stepped in. 3 people I didn't know. Shoes lined along the wall. One of them sitting where my reading chair used to be. Vanessa saw me and smiled. Oh, hey, this is Aria. Like I was being introduced. Lucas gave me a quick look. Careful, quiet. This is my house. I said. One of the guests shifted. Do you want us to? It's fine, Vanessa said quickly. We're almost done here. She turned back to them. We've been putting a lot into this place. That word again. And that was when it really sank in. They weren't just staying. They were settling in. And somehow, I had stopped pushing back. I stopped saying things. Not all at once. Just less. Vanessa moved stuff. I didn't comment. Lucas brushed things off. I let it go. It felt easier that way. Quieter. One night, I walked into the kitchen and my keys weren't where I left them. They're in the drawer, Vanessa said, without looking up. Why, it looks cleaner. Cleaner. I opened the drawer, my keys next to hers, mixed in like they belonged there. Lucas was sitting at the table. It's not a big deal. That's what you keep saying. He sighed. Because it isn't. I nodded. Didn't argue. That's the part I hate admitting. I knew what was happening. I just didn't want to fight about it every day. You ever get that tired, like arguing costs more than losing? Yeah, that. Vanessa started saying things like, "We should move this. We need better lighting. We can fix this space." I stopped correcting her. Stopped saying that shift. It's small. Sounds stupid, but it matters. Because once you stop naming what's yours, people stop seeing it that way too. Lucas noticed. "I think you've been quiet," he said one night. "I'm just busy." "That's not it." I looked at him. "You don't want it to be it." He didn't answer. And honestly, that silence, it cost more than anything she did. 6 months. That's how long they'd been there. Not 2. Not 3. 6. I stood in the kitchen one night, watching Lucas scroll through listings on his phone like it was something he might do eventually. "Any updates?" I said. He didn't look up. "We're working on it." Working on it. "Do you have a place lined up?" "Not yet." When he finally looked at me, "Aria, no, just give me a timeline." Vanessa walked in halfway through. "What's going on?" "She wants a date," Lucas said. I looked at her. "Yes, I do." She crossed her arms. "We're figuring things out. It's not that simple. It's been 6 months. So," she said, "you said we could stay. For a few months." "Yeah. And things changed." Things changed. I let that sit there. Lucas stepped in. "We just need a little more time." "How much?" He hesitated. That pause. That was the answer. Vanessa shook her head. "You're making this stressful for no reason." "No reason. It's not like we're hurting you." I laughed, quiet, sharp. "You don't see it," I said. She frowned. See what I didn't answer? Because honestly, if I had to explain it at that point, it was already worse than I thought. I told them I wanted it small. Just us. I said, "Family." That's it. Lucas nodded right away. "Yeah, that's fine." Vanessa didn't answer at first. Just kept looking at her phone. "Simple sounds good," she said after a moment. It didn't feel like agreement. More like she was humoring me. Christmas morning was quiet. Too quiet. Vanessa barely spoke. Lucas stayed out of my way, like he was trying not to step on something already cracked. By late afternoon, I set the table. Plates, glasses, 8 settings. I counted twice. Lucas came in. "Need help, I've got it." He stayed anyway. "Looks good. It should..." Vanessa walked in behind him. "We're only doing 8. "Yes," I said. She gave a small nod. "Okay." That okay felt off. Around 6, the doorbell rang. Vanessa moved before I could. "I'll get it." I followed her. 3 people came in, laughing, holding bottles. "Oh, wow. It smells amazing in here," one of them said. Vanessa smiled easily. "Come in. We're just sitting down." I looked at Lucas. "Who are they?" "They're just friends," he said quietly. "Friends." Vanessa took their coats. "We didn't want it to feel too small this year." I said family. "It still is." She said, "Just a few more people." Another knock. Then another. More voices. More shoes by the door. One of the guests glanced at me. "Is this okay?" "It's fine," Vanessa said quickly. "We planned for it." Planned. I stepped back, watching people settle in, pulling out chairs, filling space like they already knew where everything belonged. Vanessa clapped her hands lightly. "All right, let's sit." And somehow, by the time we got to the table, every seat was already taken. By the time I reached the table, everyone was already seated, talking, eating, passing dishes like they had done it here before. I stopped a few steps back and looked at the table. Plates set, chairs filled. There was no place for me. Vanessa glanced up. "We had to make a few adjustments. You can sit on the other side. There isn't another chair." I said. Lucas didn't look up. He kept cutting into his food, slow, deliberate. I stood there, holding that moment a little longer than I should have. Something settled in me. Not anger, not even shock, just clarity. "Vanessa," I said. She sighed, like I was interrupting something minor. "What is it?" "This is my house." A few people shifted. One woman set her fork down. Vanessa gave a small, tight smile. "Aria, don't do this right now. Do what make this uncomfortable." I looked around the table again. Strangers sitting easily. Plates half empty. "In my house," I said. Quieter this time. One of the men halfway down the table started to stand. "I can move if it's fine," Vanessa said quickly. "Please sit." "It isn't fine," I said. Vanessa stood up then. "You're overreacting." Lucas finally looked at me. "Aria, just let it go. There's nowhere for me to sit." "It's one night," he said. "It's not that serious." That sentence, the same one, over and over. I reached forward and pulled the table runner toward me. Not hard, just enough. 2 glasses tipped, wine spread across the table. A plate slid, hit the floor, and broke. The room went still. "Dinner's over." I said, "Please leave." No raised voice, no hesitation. Vanessa stared at me, stunned. Lucas pushed his chair back slowly. "You didn't have to do that." I met his eyes. I should have done it sooner. People gathered their things quietly. No one argued. The door opened. Cold air moving through the hallway. Vanessa grabbed her coat. "This is ridiculous." "No," I said. "This is finished, one by one." They walked out, and when the door finally closed, the house was silent again. They didn't stay the full 30 days. They left after 3 weeks. Lucas stood in the hallway with a box in his hands. He looked tired, older than he had a few months ago. "We found a place," he said. "It's small, but it's enough." "That's good," I said. Vanessa came down last. She didn't meet my eyes right away. "I didn't really think of it as your house," she said. "I knew it was, but not like that." "I know," I said. She nodded once. "I thought we were helping, making it better." "You were changing it," I said, without asking. She didn't argue. Lucas shifted his weight. "I should have said something earlier." I looked at him. "You should have." He nodded. I didn't realize how far it had gone. That part stayed with me. They left that afternoon. No scene. No long goodbye. Just the sound of the door closing behind them. I stood in the kitchen for a while after. Nothing had really changed, but it felt different, quieter, clearer. I put things back the way I wanted them. Slowly, the way they had been before. It took time. What I know now is simple. People don't take everything at once. It happens in small steps, and if you don't stop it early, it becomes normal. For me, it went too far before I said anything. That's the part I won't ignore again.